The baby won't stop screaming. Neria Solace's arms shake as she rocks the newborn against her chest, her scrub top soaked through with sweat. For days of non-stop crying that claws through the pediatric ward like a siren that forgot how to quit. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, flickering in rhythm with her exhaustion. Her vision blurs at the edges. "Please," she whispers into the infant's soft curls. "Please, baby, I got you." The crying gets louder. Down the hall, she hears Nurse Tamika's voice snap at an orderly. "I don't care what you heard. Nobody's going in that room. That child is cursed or sick or both, and I'm not about to catch whatever darkness he's carrying." Neria's jaw tightens. She adjusts the bundle in her arms, feeling the tiny body vibrate with each wail. His face is red, fists clenched so tight his knuckles are white. She's tried everything: bottles, pacifiers, temperature checks, diaper changes every 20 minutes. Nothing works. "Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is." She moves to the window, hoping the moonlight might help. Outside, Avalon Ridge glows with wealth. Skyscrapers dressed in gold lighting, luxury cars sliding through streets like sharks. This city has power, old power, the kind that doesn't ask permission. The baby's scream pitches higher. Neria's knees buckle. She catches herself against the wall, breathing hard. Her body aches in places she didn't know could hurt. When was the last time she slept? Tuesday? Wednesday? The days blend together into one long nightmare of sound. She thinks about the file on the nurse's station desk. Mother deceased, father unknown, premature birth, no family contacts, just a baby boy with no name and lungs that don't quit. "You're not cursed," she murmurs, swaying side to side. "You're just scared. I know scared. I lived scared my whole life." Her mind flashes to foster homes. 12 different houses before she aged out at 18. Doors that locked from the outside. Adults who looked through her like she was glass. She learned early that nobody comes to save you. You save yourself or you don't get saved at all. The infant's crying drops to ragged gasps, then roars back to life. Neria's eyes burn. She's the only Omega nurse on this floor, and that means something in a world where biology draws lines thicker than blood. Alphas run Avalon Ridge. Betas keep it running. Omegas survive in the cracks. She learned that too. She presses her cheek against the baby's head, and something shifts. His crying softens. Just a fraction. Just enough. Her heart hammers. She holds still, barely breathing. The infant squirms, turning his face toward her neck. His tiny nose brushes her skin, and the screaming drops to whimpers. "Oh my God," she breathes. It's her scent. He's responding to her scent. Omega biology floods her system before her brain catches up. Her body knows what to do even when her mind screams danger. She's read the studies. Imprinting happens fast with newborns. It's supposed to happen with biological parents, not random nurses working double shifts. But this baby has no one, and he's choosing her. Her hands tremble as she unbuttons the top of her scrub. This crosses every professional line. She could lose her license, get blacklisted from every hospital in the city. But the alternative is watching this child scream himself into seizures. She guides his mouth to her breast. The silence hits like thunder. Complete, absolute, terrifying silence. The baby latches and Neria's whole world tilts. Her body responds instinctively, milk letting down in a rush that makes her gasp. Tears spill down her cheeks. Relief, confusion, fear all tangled together. The infant's tiny hand curls against her skin, holding on like she's the only solid thing in his universe. "What did I just do?" she whispers. The door crashes open. Nurse Tamika stands frozen in the doorway, eyes wide. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. "Neria," she says slowly, "what did you do?" Before Neria can answer, the baby's eyes snap open. They glow, not bright, not dramatic, just a soft amber shimmer that shouldn't exist in human infants. Alpha genetics activating early. Way too early. Tamika steps back. Oh hell no. That's not normal. That's not. The overhead lights flicker. Neria's pulse hammers in her throat. She pulls the baby closer, covering him with her arms. He's fine. He's an alpha pup. Tamika interrupts, voice shaking. And you just imprinted on him. Do you know what you've done? Neria opens her mouth to respond, but footsteps echo down the hallway. Heavy, synchronized, military precise. For men in black suits appear behind Tamika. No hospital badges, no visitor passes, just cold eyes and expensive watches. The lead guard looks at Neria with the expression of someone collecting property. Neria Solace? His voice could cut glass. The child is being transferred to the Triarch. Effective immediately. What do you think Neria should do? Fight for the baby or let him go? Neria's blood turns to ice. The Triarch. Everyone in Avalon Ridge knows that name. You don't say it loud. You don't say it careless. The Triarch owns half the city's real estate and all of its fear. 3 billionaire alphas who built an empire on things polite society doesn't talk about. And they want this baby. The guard steps forward. Ms. Solace, the child. Now. Neria's arms tighten around the infant. Her body moves before her brain catches up, turning slightly to shield him with her shoulder. Why? Who is he? That's not your concern. He's been here 4 days, she says, voice steadier than she feels. Nobody claimed him. No family contacts. Why now? The guard's jaw ticks. The Triarch doesn't explain itself to hospital staff. Behind him, his 3 partners spread out, blocking the doorway. Their suits probably cost more than Neria makes in 6 months. Their stances scream military training. These aren't regular security. These are hunters. Nurse Tamika backs toward the wall, hands raised. I'm not part of this. I just walked in. Then walk out, the lead guard says without looking at her. Tamika doesn't need to be told twice. She's gone in 3 seconds. Neria's alone. The baby stirs against her chest, making small sounds. Not crying yet, but close. She can feel his little body tensing, sensing the shift in the room. I need documentation, Neria says, stalling. Transfer papers, guardian signatures. You can't just take a patient. The guard pulls a tablet from his jacket, taps twice, and turns it toward her. The screen shows a medical transfer order. Official hospital letterhead, director's signature, and at the bottom, a symbol that makes her stomach drop. 3 wolves intertwined in a circle, rendered in black ink. The Triarch's crest. Satisfied? The guard asks. Neria's eyes scan the document. Legal language. Immediate custody transfer. No destination hospital listed. Just released to legal guardians under private care. Who are the guardians? She asks. Above your clearance. I'm his nurse. I have a right. You have no rights here. The guard's voice drops to something dangerous. The Triarch has claimed the child. That supersedes everything. Hospital policy, patient advocacy, your personal feelings, everything. Neria's heart slams against her ribs. She looks down at the baby in her arms. His eyes are closed now, face peaceful. The first peace he's known since birth. He'll start crying again, she says quietly. The second you take him, he'll scream. He hasn't stopped in 4 days except when I'm holding him. That's not our problem. It'll be yours when he doesn't stop. The guard's expression doesn't change. Ms. Solace, I'm gonna count to 3. Then my team will take the child by force. Your cooperation is preferred but not required. Neria's hands start shaking. She wants to run, wants to bolt past them with the baby and disappear into the night. But there's nowhere to run in Avalon Ridge that the Triarch can't reach. 1. The baby's fingers curl tighter against her scrub top. 2. Neria's sense spikes, fear and adrenaline mixing into something sharp. The infant reacts immediately. His face scrunches. His mouth opens. 3. The guard reaches for the baby. Neria turns away, pure instinct overriding common sense. No, wait, the baby screams. Not a normal cry, not even the nonstop wailing from the past 4 days. This is something primal, a sound that vibrates in the bones. The windows rattle, the lights flicker. Somewhere down the hall, a machine starts beeping in alarm. All 4 guards freeze. The baby's scream climbs higher, louder, impossible. Neria feels it in her chest like a shockwave. Her ears ring. The guard closest to her actually winces, hand moving toward his ear. Jesus Christ, one of them mutters. The lead guard's face tightens. He reaches for the baby again, and the scream intensifies. A metal tray on the nearby table vibrates off the edge and crashes to the floor. Stop! Neria shouts over the noise. You're making it worse. Then hand him over. He's bonded to me. He won't stop until the temperature in the room drops. Neria feels it before she understands it. Pressure change. Something heavy and old and powerful pressing against her senses. Her Omega instincts scream danger so loud she almost drops to her knees. 3 scents hit the room simultaneously. Cedar and gunpowder. Salt water and steel. Amber and old leather. Alpha scents. Not just any alphas. Apex alphas. The guards go rigid, heads turning toward the door. Footsteps approach from the hallway. Slow, deliberate. The kind of walk that says we own every inch of ground we touch. The baby's screaming cuts off like someone flipped a switch. Neria looks down in shock. The infant stares at the doorway, eyes wide and glowing that soft amber again. His tiny body goes completely still. The first alpha enters. Tall, dark skin, suit so perfectly tailored it looks painted on. His eyes sweep the room with the precision of a predator analyzing territory. His presence fills the space like smoke. You can't see it, but you know it's there, choking out everything else. Kael Draven. Neria recognizes him from news reports. The strategist, the mind behind the Triarch's empire. The second alpha follows. Lighter skin, scars on his knuckles, eyes like winter storms. He moves like violence waiting for permission. Rhyx Calder, the enforcer. The one people whisper about in basements and back alleys. The third alpha enters last. Medium brown skin, expensive watch, smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He looks like a CEO, but his scent tells a different story. Predator in a boardroom costume. Torin Vale, the public face, the diplomat with blood on his hands. The Triarch, all 3 of them, here, now. Kael's eyes lock on Neria. She can't move, can't breathe. The weight of his attention pins her in place like a butterfly on a board. Explain, Kael says. 1 word. Calm. Absolutely terrifying. The lead guard straightens. Sir, the Omega refused to release the child. We were handling. I asked her. Kael doesn't look away from Neria. Not you. Neria's throat closes. The baby squirms in her arms, turning his face toward the 3 alphas. Not afraid, curious. He won't stop crying, she manages. Hasn't since birth. Only calms down when I hold him. Rhyx's eyes narrow. How long you been holding him? For days. I'm his nurse. Nurses rotate shifts, Torin says, voice smooth as silk over razor wire. You telling us you've been here 96 hours straight? Neria's chin lifts. Someone had to. Silence stretches like wire about to snap. Then the baby reaches out. His tiny hand stretches toward Kael, fingers opening and closing. A universal infant gesture, pick me up. All 3 alphas go completely still. Kael's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Recognition, confusion, rage. All of it buried under perfect control. He steps closer. The baby's hand reaches farther. And then he releases a pulse of energy that slams into all 3 alphas like a physical blow. Neria gasps. She feels it too. A wave of pure alpha power, newborn and uncontrolled, crashing through the room. The lights explode overhead. Glass rains down. Someone shouts. The guards hit the floor. When the dust settles, the three alphas are still standing, staring at the baby, staring at each other. Kael's voice comes out rough. That's not possible. Rhyx's hands curl into fists. He's ours. Torin finishes, voice hollow. All three of us. He's bonded to all three of us. Do you think the baby belongs to one alpha or all three? The room feels too small. 3 alphas, 1 omega, 1 impossibly powerful infant. The air tastes like ozone and danger. Neria's back presses against the wall. Her arms lock around the baby, holding him so tight she worries she'll hurt him. But she can't let go. Won't let go. Every instinct in her body screams mine. Kael moves first, slow, controlled, like approaching a wild animal. Give him to me, he says. No. The word leaves Neria's mouth before she can think. Rhyx's eyes flash. You don't tell us no. I'm not giving you anything. Neria's voice shakes but holds. He's not cargo. He's a baby. Torin steps forward, hands raised in mock surrender. Nobody's saying he's cargo. We just want to hold him. He's ours. You felt that bond same as we did. I felt him reach for you, Neria corrects. That doesn't mean. It means everything. Kael's voice cuts through hers like a blade. That pulse, that energy, it doesn't happen unless there's a blood bond. Alpha to alpha, pack to air. Neria's stomach twists. You're saying he's your son. We're saying he's our heir, Torin clarifies. All three of ours, which shouldn't be possible, but apparently biology has jokes today. The baby makes a small sound. Not crying, just acknowledging. His eyes track between the 3 alphas with unnerving awareness for a 4-day-old. Rhyx takes another step. Hand him over. Now. Neria shifts sideways, putting more distance between them. He'll start crying. Let him cry. You don't understand. When he cries, things break. He's been screaming nonstop for 4 days. The only time he stops is when you hold him. Kael finishes, eyes narrowing. Why? I don't know. Yes, you do. Kael tilts his head, studying her like she's a puzzle missing pieces. You're an omega. He's an alpha pup. Something happened. What did you do? Neria's mouth goes dry. She can't tell them. Can't admit she crossed every professional boundary. Can't say the word imprint out loud. But Torin's already figured it out. Oh hell, he breathes. You bonded with him. Rhyx goes deadly still. Say that again. Look at her scent, Torin says, voice tight. Look at how she's holding him. Look at how calm he is. She didn't just nurse him. She imprinted. The temperature drops 10 degrees. Kael's expression doesn't change, but the air around him thickens. Is that true? Neria's pulse hammers in her ears. He was dying. He wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep, just screamed and screamed until I thought his lungs would collapse. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice, Rhyx says, voice low and dangerous. Not when a baby's life is on the line. That baby is ours. Rhyx's control finally cracks. His voice booms through the room, alpha command lacing every syllable. You had no right. The infant screams. 1 second of silence, then pure chaos. The baby wails so loud Neria's ears pop. The remaining windows crack. The overhead sprinklers burst, raining water across the room. Medical equipment sparks and dies. All 3 alphas stagger back. Neria drops to her knees, curling around the baby. Water soaks through her scrubs. She presses her face against his head, whispering desperately. Sure, baby, please. I'm here. You're safe. I'm right here. The crying doesn't stop. It gets worse, louder, sharper. The walls shake. Somewhere in the building, an alarm starts blaring. Neria feels the vibrations in her teeth. Make him stop, Rhyx shouts over the noise. I'm trying. Kael's jaw clenches. He watches them. Neria curled on the floor, the baby screaming himself raw, and something shifts in his expression. He crouches down, slowly, carefully, not threatening, just present. Neria, he says, voice cutting through the chaos. Look at me. She does. Water drips from her hair into her eyes. The baby thrashes in her arms. He's bonded to you, Kael says, but he's also bonded to us. He needs both. Do you understand? Neria shakes her head. I don't. Let me hold him. He'll scream harder. Let me hold him while you stay close. Neria hesitates. The baby's face is bright red, veins standing out on his tiny forehead. He's going to hurt himself. She makes a choice. She shifts, loosening her grip just enough. Kael reaches in, hands steady despite the chaos. His fingers brush hers as he slides his palms under the baby's body. The instant Kael touches him, something changes. The screaming doesn't stop, but it shifts. Less panic, more demand. Kael lifts the baby against his chest, and Neria stays close, her hand on the infant's back. Her scent mingles with Kael's, cedar and gunpowder mixing with her own softer omega signature. The baby's crying drops to sobs, then whimpers, then silence. Complete, shocked silence. Rhyx and Torin stare like they're watching physics break. The baby turns his face into Kael's shirt, then immediately twists back toward Neria. His little hand reaches for her. She gives him her finger and he grips it tight. He needs both of them. Kael's throat works. Well, that's new. Torin runs a hand over his face. This is impossible. Imprinting doesn't work like this. He should reject one of you. Bond to her or us, not both. Tell that to him. Rhyx mutters. Neria's legs shake. She's still on her knees in a puddle of sprinkler water, holding onto a baby that shouldn't exist while 3 of the most dangerous men in Avalon Ridge figure out what to do with her. Kael's eyes meet hers over the baby's head. What's your name? Neria. Neria Solace. Neria, he repeats like he's testing how it sounds. Do you have family? Pack? Someone who'll notice if you disappear. Her blood turns cold. Are you threatening me? I'm asking a question. No, she says carefully. No family. No pack. Something flickers across Kael's face. Good. Good. Neria's voice rises. Good that I'm alone? That nobody will care if. Good because it means no complications. Kael shifts the baby in his arms, and the infant immediately starts fussing. Neria moves closer on instinct, her hand finding the baby's back again. He settles. Kael's expression goes complicated. He won't let either of us go, will he? No, Neria whispers. I don't think he will. Torin steps closer, eyes sharp. So what do we do? Keep her? Lock her in a room until he's old enough to function without her. Neria's stomach flips. You can't. We can do anything we want. Rhyx interrupts. You imprinted on our heir. That makes you ours now too. The words hit like a slap. Ours, not his, ours. Neria's mind races. She thinks about running, about screaming for help, about fighting 3 apex alphas with her bare hands if she has to. But the baby chooses that moment to make a small, content sound. His eyes drift closed. His breathing evens out. His tiny fingers stay wrapped around Neria's while his body relaxes against Kael's chest. Peace. For the first time in 4 days, actual peace. Neria's throat tightens. She can't leave him. Even if she wanted to. Even if these alphas terrify her. She's bonded to this child in ways that go deeper than choice. Kael sees it on her face. You're coming with us. Where? Somewhere safe. Somewhere we can figure out what the hell is happening. And if I refuse, then we take you anyway. Rhyx's voice leaves no room for argument. But at least this way you get to walk. The door bursts open. A woman strides in, elegant, expensive, furious. Her omega scent fills the room, sweet and poisonous. Her eyes lock on Neria with pure hatred. What? She says, voice dripping venom. Is that nurse doing with my nephew? Do you think this woman is lying or telling the truth? Neria's never seen someone weaponize a smile before. But this woman does it like an art form. Tall, beautiful, dressed in clothes that cost more than Neria's car. Her dark hair falls in perfect waves, and her eyes, cold, calculating, sweep over the scene with practiced precision. "Mirel," Torin says carefully, "what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" Mirel Avenhart's voice climbs an octave. "What is she doing here? With Sable's baby? With my family's heir?" Sable, that's the mother's name. Was the mother's name, past tense, dead? Neria's grip tightens on the baby's back. He stirs against Kael's chest but doesn't wake. "Sable's cousin," Kael says flatly. "Not her sister, not her mother, her cousin. Family is family." Murel's eyes glitter. "And that child belongs with blood, not some random Omega who decided to play house." "She didn't play anything," Rhyx growls. "She kept him alive by manipulating a bond." Murel's voice cracks like a whip. She points at Neria with one perfectly manicured nail. "She imprinted on him intentionally. Any first-year nurse knows that's illegal without parental consent. She's a criminal." Neria's heart drops into her stomach. "That's not what happened." "Oh, really?" Murel takes 3 steps closer. Her heels click on the wet floor. "So you didn't breastfeed him? Didn't bond with him? Didn't create an attachment that you knew would make him dependent on you? He was dying. He was crying. There's a difference." Murel's smile sharpens. "But you saw an opportunity, didn't you? 3 powerful alphas. A baby with no mother. A way out of your sad little life." The words hit like punches. Neria opens her mouth to defend herself, but nothing comes out, because part of her wonders if Murel's right. If some buried part of her saw a chance and took it without thinking. No, that's not. She's lying. Kael's voice cuts through Neria's spiral. "Look at her scent. She's terrified. She didn't plan this." "Of course she's terrified," Murel counters smoothly. "She got caught." Torin folds his arms. "Murel, why are you really here?" "I told you. For my nephew. Sable didn't list you as guardian. Sable was drugged out of her mind when she died." Murel's mask slips for half a second, showing something raw underneath. "She didn't list anyone because she didn't think she'd die. But I'm blood. I have rights." Rhyx moves to block Murel's path to Kael and the baby. "You didn't even visit her in the hospital. Not once. We checked. I was in Europe. I came as soon as I heard. For days later. Better late than never." Murel's eyes shift to Neria. "Unlike some people who insert themselves where they don't belong." Neria finds her voice. "I belong with him. He needs me. He needs protection from you. I protected him. I'm the only reason he's not. The only reason he's traumatized." Murel's voice rises. "Bonded to a stranger. Confused. Damaged. You did that." The baby whimpers. Everyone freezes. Neria feels his distress before she sees it. His little body tenses against Kael. His breathing picks up. The amber glow starts flickering behind his closed eyelids. "Stop yelling," Kael says quietly. "Both of you." Murel doesn't stop. "I'm taking him. Right now. I have lawyers on standby. Court orders being drafted. You can't keep me from family." "Actually," Torin says, voice cold, "we can. The transfer order gives us full custody." "That order is illegal. Sable's family has rights." Sable's family didn't show up for 4 days while this child screamed himself raw. Kael's tone could frost glass. "Where were your rights then?" Murel's jaw tightens. "I'm not leaving without him." "Yes," Rhyx says softly, dangerously. "You are." The baby's whimpers turn to crying. Neria moves closer on instinct, her hands sliding up to cup the infant's head. She makes soft shushing sounds, and his crying drops to fussing. Murel watches this with naked fury. "See? She's controlling him, manipulating his bond. That's not natural." "Natural?" Neria's anger finally breaks through fear. "You want to talk about natural? A newborn crying for 96 hours straight isn't natural. Nobody coming to help isn't natural. You showing up now, not to help but to accuse, isn't natural. How dare you?" I dare because he matters. Neria's voice shakes. He's 4 days old and he's been through hell, and all you care about is custody paperwork and property rights. He's not property. He's a baby. Silence drops like a hammer. Murel's expression goes cold. You'll regret this. Is that a threat? Kael asks mildly. It's a promise. Murel backs toward the door. I have resources, connections, legal teams that will bury this hospital and everyone in it, including your little nursemaid. She turns on her heel and leaves. The click of her heels fades down the hallway. Nobody moves for 10 seconds. Then Torin exhales hard. Well, she's going to be a problem. Understatement, Rhyx mutters. Kael looks down at the baby, who stopped crying but clearly upset. His little face scrunches, and his hand grips Neria's finger tight enough to hurt. We need to leave, Kael says. Now, before she comes back with actual lawyers. Where? Neria asks. Somewhere she can't reach. Kael's eyes meet hers. Are you coming voluntarily, or do we need to make this difficult? Neria looks at the baby, at his tiny fingers wrapped around hers, at his face, finally peaceful. She thinks about her apartment. 1 bedroom, leaky faucet, rent 3 weeks overdue. She thinks about her job that's probably gone after tonight's chaos. She thinks about a life that was barely working before a screaming infant changed everything. Voluntarily, she whispers. Kael nods once. Smart. Rhyx pulls out his phone, typing rapid fire. I'll have a car here in 2 minutes. Back entrance. No cameras. What about my stuff? Neria asks. Leave it, Torin says. We'll get you new stuff. But everything you own is now a security risk. Torin's voice softens slightly. Murel knows where you live, knows where you work, knows everything about you. If you want to keep this child safe, you leave your old life behind. The words hit harder than they should. Leave your old life behind. As if it's that easy. As if 26 years of existence can just be erased because 3 billionaires say so. But then the baby makes that small content sound again, and Neria realizes she doesn't have a choice. She never did. Okay, she says. Okay. Kael shifts the baby carefully, trying to hand him back to Neria. The instant the infant leaves his chest, the crying starts again. Hi, sharp, angry. Neria reaches for him, but Kael stops her. No, he says. We need to figure this out. He has to learn to be with me without you right there. He's 4 days old, and he'll be 4 months old eventually. For years. He can't be this dependent on both of us forever. The baby's crying intensifies. Glass in a nearby cabinet cracks. Kael, Torin warns. No, he needs to learn. Kael's face sets in determination. He holds the screaming infant away from his body, refusing to cave. Neria's instincts scream. You're hurting him. I'm teaching him. The baby's scream hits a pitch that makes Neria's knees buckle. And then something happens. The air ripples, not like heat waves, like reality itself glitching. The baby's scream becomes something else. Something more. Neria feels it in her bones. A pulse of pure energy radiating outward. Alpha power, but bigger, stronger, wrong for a newborn. The pulse slams into all 3 alphas. Kael stumbles. Rhyx catches himself against the wall. Torin drops to 1 knee. Neria stands untouched, staring in horror. The baby's eyes glow bright amber, not flickering, blazing, and then he stops crying. Just stops. His eyes lock on something behind Murel's departed form. His tiny body goes rigid. His mouth opens in a silent scream. Oh God! Neria breathes. He's warning us. Warning us. Rhyx pushes off the wall. About what? The lights in the hallway explode. Darkness swallows the hospital wing. And somewhere in that darkness, footsteps approach. Not guards. Not nurses. Something else. The baby's silence is worse than his screaming ever was. What do you think is coming for them in the dark? Emergency lights flicker on, red and weak. Kael pulls the baby against his chest and moves toward Neria. Stay close to me. She doesn't argue. Her body presses against his side, and the baby immediately relaxes between them. Even in crisis, the bond demands proximity. The footsteps get closer, multiple pairs, moving in formation. How many? Torin asks quietly. Rhyx tilts his head, listening. 6, maybe 7, armed. Hospital security doesn't move like that, because they're not hospital security. The baby makes a sound, not crying, but something low in his throat, almost a growl, impossible for a 4-day-old. Neria feels it through Kael's chest. He knows they're dangerous. How? Kael's voice is barely a whisper. I don't know, but he does. The first figure appears at the end of the hallway, silhouetted in red emergency lighting. Tall, broad, moving with purpose. Not Murel's lawyers, mercenaries. Rhyx moves in front of the group, his body shifting into something predatory. This is private property. Leave. The figure doesn't stop. We're here for the Omega and the child. Wrong answer. Rhyx's voice drops to something inhuman. Alpha command mixed with threat. Turn around. Walk away. Live. 2 more figures join the first. They're carrying something. Neria can't see what in the dim light, but the way they hold their arms suggests weapons. Torin's hand goes to his jacket. When it comes out, he's holding a gun. Where did he? Murel sent you, Kael says. Not a question. We don't discuss clients. That's a yes. Kael's grip on the baby tightens. Tell her the price just went up. Way up. Tell her yourself. The lead mercenary raises his weapon. After you hand over the Omega, everything happens at once. Rhyx moves. He crosses 15 feet in under a second. The lead mercenary fires, but Rhyx isn't there anymore. He's behind him, one hand on the gun, one hand on the man's throat. The weapon clatters to the floor. The mercenary drops a second later. The other 2 open fire. Torin returns shots with perfect precision. 2 pulls of the trigger. 2 bodies hit the ground. Neria can't breathe, can't process. This is a hospital. There are patients sleeping 50 feet away. There's blood on the floor. The baby doesn't cry. He watches everything with those glowing amber eyes. More footsteps, more figures. They're not stopping. Back door, Kael snaps. Now. They move as a unit. Kael leading with the baby. Neria pressed against his side. Torin covering the rear. Rhyx prowling ahead like a wolf. They hit the stairwell at a run. Neria's legs burn by the 3rd floor. The baby bounces against Kael's chest, but he doesn't cry, just watches. Alert, aware, too aware. They burst through the back entrance into cold night air. A black car idles at the curb. Door already open, engine running. In Rhyx orders. Neria climbs into the back seat. Kael follows, the baby still locked against his chest. Torin takes the passenger seat. Rhyx gets behind the wheel. Tires screech as they pull away from the hospital. Neria twists to look out the back window. For more mercenaries pour out of the entrance, weapons raised. One of them lifts something to his shoulder. Down. Torin shouts. Kael slams Neria's head down. His body covers hers and the baby's. The rear window explodes. Glass rains down. The car swerves. Rhyx curses and floors it. They take a corner so hard Neria slides across the seat. Kael's arm locks around her, holding her steady. The baby makes a small sound, not fear, just acknowledgement. This child has seen more violence in 4 days than most people see in a lifetime. Is he hit? Torin asks, twisted around in his seat. No, Kael says. We're good. We're not good. Rhyx snarls from the driver's seat. We're being hunted, in our own city, by mercs working for a spoiled Omega with delusions of power. She's more than that, Torin mutters. She has backing. Nobody sends that kind of firepower without serious funding. Who? Neria asks. Her voice shakes. Who would help her? Lots of people. Kael shifts the baby to his other arm. Murel's family has political connections. Old money. The kind that doesn't get dirty publicly but pays others to get dirty for them. So what do? We disappear. Kael's eyes meet hers in the darkness. All of us. The car takes another sharp turn. Neria catches glimpses of Avalon Ridge through the broken window. Glass towers, neon signs, a city that looks beautiful from a distance and deadly up close. The baby's glowing eyes finally start to dim. His little body relaxes. He's exhausted. Neria reaches out instinctively, her hand finding his back. He leans into the touch without opening his eyes. "He's asleep," she whispers. "First time," Rhyx asks from the front. "Yeah, kid's got timing." Rhyx glances in the rearview mirror. "We've got a tail. 2 cars. Black SUVs. Persistent." Torin pulls his phone out, typing one-handed. "I'm calling in favors. We need somewhere Murel can't reach." "Nowhere's safe from her family," Rhyx says. "Then we make somewhere safe." Kael's voice hardens. "Our territory. Our rules." The baby stirs against his chest. His hand reaches out, finding Neria's shirt. He grips the fabric tight. Even in sleep, he needs both of them. Neria looks at Kael, really looks at him. This close, she can see the scar along his jaw, the tension in his shoulders, the way his eyes never stop moving, always calculating, always 3 steps ahead. "Why?" she asks quietly. "Why protect me? You could give me to Murel. Take the baby. Be done with this mess." Kael's expression doesn't change. "He's bonded to you. That's not a reason. You're powerful enough to break bonds." "Not this one." Something flickers in Kael's eyes. "Trust me, I've tried." The admission hits strange. He's already tried to sever the bond? When? How? Before Neria can ask, the car swerves hard right. She slams into Kael. The baby wakes with a startled sound. "Hold on," Rhyx growls. They're on a bridge now, water glittering far below. The SUVs close in from behind. "They're going to ram us," Torin says calmly. "Let them try." The first SUV accelerates. Neria watches it coming in the side mirror. Closer, closer. The baby's eyes snap open, amber blazing. He stares at the approaching vehicle, and then he screams. Not a baby cry, something else. Something ancient and powerful and absolutely terrifying. The air around them ripples. The SUV's windshield shatters. The driver loses control. The vehicle swerves hard left and crashes through the bridge railing. Neria watches in horror as it tumbles toward the water. The splash is distant, final. What the hell was that? Rhyx's hands are white-knuckled on the wheel. The baby stops screaming. His eyes dim back to normal. He looks at Neria with an expression too old for his face. "He protected us," she breathes. "4-day-olds don't protect anything," Torin says. "He's not a normal 4-day-old. The second SUV slows, stops. Its reverse lights come on. They're retreating. Rhyx exhales hard. They're scared of him. They should be, Kael murmurs. He looks down at the baby in his arms. "What are you?" The infant just yawns, closes his eyes, goes back to sleep like he didn't just kill 3 people with his mind. Neria's whole body shakes. This is beyond biology, beyond bonds. This child is something else entirely, and she's tied to him forever. The car turns onto a private road. Trees close in on both sides. No streetlights, no cameras. Just darkness and the sound of tires on gravel. "Where are we going?" Neria asks. "Safe house," Kael says. "One of ours. Off the grid. Murel won't find us there." "How long do we stay?" "As long as it takes." "For what?" Kael's eyes meet hers. "To figure out what this child can do, and who wants him dead badly enough to start a war." The baby sleeps on, peaceful, innocent. But Neria sees the truth now. This isn't a rescue. It's the beginning of something much, much worse. The car stops in front of a massive iron gate. It swings open automatically. They drive through into darkness. And somewhere behind them, in the city they just left, Mirel Avenhart watches from a penthouse window. Her phone rings. "Did you get them?" she asks. A voice answers. Rough, professional. "No, but we know where they're going." Murel smiles. "Good. Let them run. Let them hide. Let them think they're safe. And then we take everything from them." Her reflection in the window looks like a stranger, starting with that Omega. She ends the call, picks up another phone, dials a number she's been saving. Someone answers on the first ring. "It's time," Murel says. "Activate the contingency." Will Murel succeed in destroying Neria? Or will the baby's power save them all? The baby's scream shatters the silence at 3 in the morning. Neria jolts awake on a leather couch she doesn't remember lying down on. Her neck aches. Her mouth tastes like metal. The room spins for 2 seconds before her brain catches up. Safe house. They're in the safe house. The scream comes again. Sharper. Angrier. She's on her feet before conscious thought kicks in. Her body moves through darkness, following sound and instinct. Down a hallway, past closed doors. Toward the nursery they set up in 4 frantic hours. The door's already open. Kael stands in the center of the room, holding the baby at arm's length. The infant thrashes. His face is purple. His little fists swing at nothing. But it's his eyes that make Neria freeze. They're glowing so bright they cast shadows on the walls. Amber light pulses with each scream. The windows rattle. A lamp on the dresser vibrates toward the edge. "Kael," Neria says carefully. "What happened?" "He woke up crying. I came to check on him." Kael's voice is strained. "He won't stop, won't let me touch him. Every time I get close, he screams harder." Neria approaches slowly. The baby's eyes track her movement. The screaming drops half a decibel. "Let me try." Kael hands him over without argument. The instant Neria's hands touch the infant's skin, the screaming cuts to whimpers. His little body curls into her chest. His glowing eyes start to dim, but they don't go out completely. They stay lit, focused, staring at the doorway behind Kael. Neria's blood chills. He's looking at something. There's nothing there. He thinks there is. Rhyx appears in the doorway, making Neria jump. "What's going on?" The baby's eyes flare brighter. His whimpers turn to growls. Rhyx freezes. "Is he growling at me?" "He's warning us," Neria says. Her arms tighten around the infant. "Something's wrong." "Yeah, no kidding." Torin joins them, hair messy from sleep. "Kid's got a set of lungs that could wake the dead." The baby's attention shifts to Torin. The growling intensifies. All 3 alphas exchange looks. "He's never done this before," Kael says. "Done what?" Neria asks. "Reacted to us like we're threats." Kael moves closer, and the baby's whole body goes rigid. His mouth opens. The air pressure in the room changes. "Don't," Neria warns. "He's about to." The pulse hits. Not as strong as the one in the hospital, but concentrated, focused. It slams into all 3 alphas like an invisible fist. They stagger back. Rhyx catches himself on the doorframe. Torin's knees buckle. Kael stays upright through sheer stubbornness. The baby stops glowing. He looks up at Neria with clear, calm eyes. Then he yawns. "What the hell?" Rhyx's voice is rough. "Did he just attack us?" "He's protecting her," Torin realizes. "From us." Kael's jaw clenches. "We're not the threat." "He doesn't know that." Neria rocks the baby gently. "He's 4 days old. He can't tell the difference between protection and danger. He just knows you're alphas, and alphas are dangerous. We saved him. You also took him from the only place he knew, put him in a car, drove through a war zone, watched people die." Neria's voice is quiet but firm. "He's traumatized." Silence fills the room. Kael runs a hand over his face. "This isn't sustainable. He can't keep attacking us every time we get close to you. Then give us space." Space means vulnerability. Murel's people could hit this location anytime. So we're prisoners? Neria's spine straightens. Trapped here while you three hover like guards? We're keeping you alive. Rhyx snaps. The baby whimpers. His eyes start glowing again. Stop, Torin says sharply. Everyone stop. Fighting makes it worse. They fall silent. The baby's glow dims slowly. His breathing evens out. Neria looks down at him, at his tiny face, his impossibly aware eyes, his fingers gripping her shirt like she's the only solid thing in his universe. What are you? She whispers. The baby blinks at her. His mouth curves into something that might be a smile. And then the lights go out. Not just in the nursery, the whole house. Complete darkness. Generator? Torin asks. Doesn't fail, Rhyx says. Ever. Footsteps on the roof. Soft, precise, multiple sets. The baby's eyes blaze bright enough to light the room. He's staring at the ceiling. His little body vibrates with tension. Kael moves to the window, pulls the curtain back an inch. His expression goes stone cold. We've got company, at least 10, maybe 15, surrounding the property. How did they find us? Neria's voice shakes. Doesn't matter. They're here. Rhyx pulls a weapon from somewhere. We need to move. Now. There's nowhere to go, Torin says. This location was supposed to be clean. The baby screams. Not a warning this time. Pure terror. His eyes blaze so bright Neria has to squint. The windows don't just rattle, they crack. Straight lines spreading across the glass like spider webs. He knows. Neria breathes. He knows what's coming. A voice echoes through the darkness. Amplified. Electronic. Coming from outside. Alpha Draven. Alpha Calder. Alpha Vale. You have 30 seconds to surrender the Omega and the child. After that, we breach. Kael's eyes narrow. That's not Murel's voice. No, Torin says quietly. It's not. Then who? The baby's scream cuts off. His eyes lock on Neria's face. And for the first time, she hears him. Not with her ears. In her mind. A voice too old for an infant. Too clear. Too impossible. Danger. Run. Now. Neria's knees nearly give out. Did he just what? Rhyx demands. He spoke. In my head. He spoke. The three alphas stare at her. That's not possible, Kael says. Telepathy doesn't manifest until the roof explodes. Is the baby's power growing too fast? Or is something else controlling him? Debris rains down through the nursery ceiling. Kael grabs Neria and the baby, throwing them behind him. His body becomes a shield. Chunks of wood and insulation hit his back. He doesn't flinch. The dust clears. 5 figures drop through the hole. Black tactical gear. Night vision goggles. Weapons raised. They're not mercenaries. They're military. Down! The lead soldier barks. All of you. Hands visible. Now. Rhyx moves. He's across the room before the soldier can blink. His hand closes around the weapon's barrel. One twist. The metal crumples like paper. The soldier staggers back. What the? Rhyx hits him once. The man drops. The other 4 open fire. Torin moves in front of Neria, arms spread wide. Bullets hit him. She sees them impact his chest, his arms, his shoulder. He doesn't fall. The bullets flatten against his skin and drop to the floor. Neria's mind breaks trying to process this. How? Apex alpha biology, Kael says tersely. Hardened skin under stress. Doesn't last long. Move. They run. Out of the nursery. Down the hall. The baby clutched against Neria's chest. His eyes still glowing. Still staring at threats she can't see. More soldiers pour through the front door. The windows. The back entrance. This isn't a raid. It's an invasion. How many? Torin shouts. Too many, Rhyx snarls. They hit the kitchen. Kael slams a hand against the pantry wall. A section swings open, revealing stairs leading down. Safe room, he says. Go. Neria doesn't argue. She takes the stairs 2 at a time, the baby bouncing in her arms. He doesn't cry, just watches, alert, waiting. The stairs end in a reinforced room. Concrete walls, steel door, no windows, a tomb. Kael seals the door behind them. The lock engages with a heavy thunk. Silence. Neria's breathing is too loud. Her heart hammers against her ribs. The baby's glow is the only light. Who are they? She asks. Government, Torin says. He's bleeding from 3 places. The bullets didn't kill him, but they hurt. That gear, that coordination, that's federal. Why would the government want him? Because he's a weapon. Kael moves to a panel on the wall, taps a code. A screen flickers to life, showing security footage. A 4-day-old alpha who can project force, read minds, sense danger. They've been looking for this kind of power for decades. The screen shows soldiers moving through the house above. Methodical, professional. They're not here to negotiate. Murel sold us out, Rhyx says. To who? Someone with federal connections. Torin winces as he pulls a flattened bullet from his shoulder. Someone who wants the baby bad enough to burn every bridge in Avalon Ridge. The baby makes a sound. Not crying, not warning, just a small hum. His eyes find the ceiling. He stares up like he can see through concrete and steel. And then he speaks again, not out loud. In Neria's head, they're coming, down, here. He says they're coming down here, Neria whispers. There's no way down here, Kael says. This room is. An explosion rocks the ceiling. Dust falls. Concrete cracks. They're drilling through. Impossible, Torin breathes. That's 3 feet of reinforced concrete. They brought serious equipment. Rhyx moves to stand under the drilling point. Kael, we need options. Kael's fingers fly across the panel. There's a tunnel. Emergency exit. Comes out half a mile away. Can we make it before they breach? If we move now. Another explosion. Bigger. The ceiling buckles. A crack spreads across the concrete like lightning. Go! Kael shouts. They run again. Through a hidden door at the back of the safe room. Into a tunnel so narrow they have to move single file. The baby pressed between Neria and Kael, his glow lighting the way. Behind them, the ceiling collapses. Voices shout. Footsteps echo. The soldiers are in the safe room. Faster! Rhyx urges from the rear. The tunnel seems endless. Neria's lungs burn. Her legs scream. The baby's weight makes her arms ache. But she doesn't stop. Can't stop. Light appears ahead. Dim. Natural. Moonlight. They burst out into a forest. Trees everywhere. The safe house is a distant glow through the branches. We need a vehicle, Torin says. Already called one. Kael pulls out his phone. 2 minutes out. We don't have 2 minutes. Voices behind them. In the tunnel. Getting closer. The baby's eyes flare. He twists in Neria's arms, looking back the way they came. His mouth opens. Don't, Neria pleads. Baby, please don't. He screams. The tunnel collapses. Completely. Instantly. Tons of earth and rock crashing down, sealing the entrance. Silence. The baby stops glowing. He looks up at Neria with innocent eyes, like he didn't just cause a cave-in that probably killed people. How is he doing this? Neria's voice cracks. He's 4 days old. For days. Instinct echo, Kael says. I told you, it's a rare alpha ability. He senses threats and amplifies his emotional responses to neutralize them. That's not amplifying emotions. That's telekinesis. It's both. Torin limps toward them. Echo doesn't just affect people. It affects environment, reality. At this level of power, he's rewriting physics. Headlights cut through the trees. A black SUV skids to a stop. The driver's side door opens. A woman steps out, tall, dangerous, unfamiliar. Get in, she says. Now. Rhyx eyes her. Who are you? Your ride. Unless you want to wait for the soldiers to dig themselves out. They pile into the SUV. Neria in the back with the baby, Kael beside her, Rhyx and Torin in the middle row. The woman floors it before the doors are closed. "Where are we going?" Kael asks. "Somewhere they won't look," the woman says. "Trust me. We don't know you. You know Murel though, right?" The woman's eyes meet Kael's in the rearview mirror. "You know she's got connections you can't touch, money you can't trace, power you can't fight. Who sent you?" The woman smiles. "It's not friendly. Someone who wants Murel gone as much as you do." The baby whimpers. His eyes glow faintly. Warning. Neria's instincts scream. "Kael." The woman pulls a gun, points it at the windshield, pulls the trigger. The glass shatters outward. Wind rushes in. The SUV swerves. The woman laughs. "Sorry," she says. "Nothing personal. But that baby's worth more than all your lives combined." She pulls something from her jacket. Small, metal, flashing red. Detonator. Kael lunges for her. Rhyx grabs the wheel. Torin dives for the detonator. Too late. The woman pushes the button. The SUV explodes. Who is the mysterious woman, and will they survive the explosion? Neria wakes up tasting blood. Her ears ring. Her vision blurs. She's on her back in wet grass. Stars spin overhead. The baby. Panic floods her system. She rolls sideways, hands searching. No, no, no. He's there. 3 feet away. Lying in the grass. Eyes closed. Not moving. Neria crawls to him. Her body screams protest. Something's broken, rib maybe too. She doesn't care. She reaches him. Presses her fingers to his tiny neck. Pulse. She sobs. "Thank God. Thank God." The baby's eyes open slowly. They don't glow. Just stare at her with that impossible awareness. "Safe?" His voice in her head. Small. Scared. "Yeah, baby. We're safe. We're." Movement to her left. Kael pulling himself from the wreckage. Blood runs down his face. His suit is shredded. But he's alive. Rhyx emerges next. Limping. Cursing. His shoulder hangs wrong. Torin crawls out last. He's not moving well. Each breath sounds painful. "Everyone alive?" Kael's voice is rough. "Define alive," Rhyx mutters. The SUV is barely recognizable. Twisted metal. Flames licking at the fuel tank. They're lucky they got thrown clear. The woman is gone. No body. No blood trail. Just gone. "She bailed before detonation," Torin says. "Probably had a second vehicle waiting." "Who was she?" Neria asks. "Someone working for whoever wants the baby." Kael moves toward them. His eyes scan the tree line. "We need to move. That explosion will draw attention." "We can barely walk. Then we crawl." The baby makes a sound. Soft. Content. He reaches for Kael. Kael freezes. Stares at the tiny hand. "He's never." "Take him," Neria says. "He's asking for you." Kael's jaw works. He bends down. Scoops the baby into his arms. The infant settles against his chest. No crying. No glowing. Just peace. Something shifts in Kael's expression. Vulnerable. Raw. "He trusts you now," Neria whispers. "Because you do." Kael's eyes meet hers. "He reads your emotions. If you're calm, he's calm. I'm not calm. I'm terrified. But you trust me to protect him. That's what he feels." The baby's hand curls into Kael's torn shirt. His eyes drift closed. "We need to keep moving," Rhyx says. He's got his phone out. "I'm calling in backup. Real backup. People we actually know." "No," Kael says sharply. "No calls. No contacts. Whoever's tracking us has access to everything. Phone networks. Satellites. Banking records. We go dark. Completely. For how long? Until we figure out who's hunting us and why. And how do we do that with no resources?" Kael's expression hardens. "We go back to the beginning." "What beginning?" "The hospital. Where this started." Kael shifts the baby in his arms. "Someone knew about him before we did. Someone put him in that hospital with no name, no records. Someone wanted him found but not claimed. You think it's a trap, Torin realizes. I think it's a test. And we walked right into it. Neria's mind races. Murel said the baby's mother was her cousin, Sable. Was that true? Probably. Kael starts walking. The others follow. But Sable didn't die in childbirth by accident. She was murdered. The word hits like a punch. How do you know? Neria asks. Because we ordered the autopsy. Kael's voice goes cold. Traces of poison in her system. Slow acting. Designed to look like pregnancy complications. Someone killed her to get to the baby. Someone killed her because the baby is theirs. Not ours. Not Murel's. Someone else entirely. They walk through darkness. Trees everywhere. No road. No lights. Just forest and fear. The baby sleeps on. Peaceful in Kael's arms. Neria watches him. This tiny thing causing so much chaos. This 4-day-old weapon wrapped in soft skin. What happens when he gets older? She asks quietly. When he can control his power? We teach him control, Kael says. Or someone takes him and weaponizes him. Not while I'm breathing. The certainty in his voice makes Neria's chest tight. This isn't just about biology anymore. Not just bonds. Kael cares about this child. Really cares. They all do. Even Rhyx, who keeps glancing back at the baby with complicated expressions. There, Torin points. Lights. Small town. Maybe we can. The baby's eyes snap open. He stares at the distant lights. His body goes rigid. No, wrong. Danger. He says it's dangerous. Neria translates. It's a town, Rhyx says. What's dangerous about? Gunfire erupts from the tree line. They drop. Bullets tear through branches overhead. The baby doesn't cry. His eyes glow bright. His mouth opens. Cover your ears, Neria shouts. The scream that follows shatters trees. Literally. Bark explodes. Branches snap. The gunfire stops as shooters hit the ground, hands over their ears. The baby's power expands. Neria feels it like pressure, like standing too close to a speaker. Her bones vibrate, and then it stops. Silence so complete it hurts. The baby's eyes dim. He looks at Kael, then at Neria. Love you, his voice whispers in her mind. Neria's tears come fast. I love you too, baby. Kael's throat works. We need to go. Now, while they're down, they run through the forest, away from the town, away from the shooters, into deeper darkness. And behind them, a figure watches from the shadows. Tall, female, familiar. Murel steps over an unconscious shooter. Her phone glows in the darkness. Did you get the readings? She asks. A voice responds. Every frequency, every output level. The child's power is off the charts. Good. Murel's smile is sharp. Proceed to phase 2. She ends the call, looks in the direction they ran. Run all you want, she whispers. You're making him stronger for me. Why does Murel want the baby's power to grow? They stop running when Neria collapses. Her legs give out. She hits the ground hard, gasping, shaking. The adrenaline that kept her moving for the past hour drains out all at once. Kael's beside her instantly. Neria, talk to me. Can't. Her breath won't come right. Can't keep going. We have to. They're still. I know. She looks up at him, at the baby still sleeping in his arms. But my body doesn't care. I'm done. Rhyx scans the area. There. Old cabin. Abandoned. We can hole up for a few hours. They half carry Neria to the structure. It's barely standing. Roof sagging. Windows broken, but it has 4 walls and a door that closes. Torin checks the perimeter. No tracks. No signs of recent use. We should be clear for now. Kael sets the baby on a dusty table. Starts checking him over. Fingers gentle. Professional. The infant stirs but doesn't wake. He's fine, Kael says. Not a scratch. Whatever his power does, it protects him first. Protects her too. Rhyx nods at Neria. She took less damage from that explosion than any of us. Why? Because he needs her, Torin says quietly. His instincts prioritize her survival above everything else, including his own fathers. The word hangs in the air. Fathers, plural. Neria's seen them act like protectors, guardians, alphas defending their territory. But this is the first time anyone said it out loud. Kael's expression doesn't change. We need to address the elephant in the room. Which one? Rhyx asks. There's like 6 elephants at this point. Who he belongs to? Kael looks at each of them. We all felt the bond. All 3 of us. But bonds can be manufactured, manipulated. Someone could have engineered this. Why? Neria asks. To tie us to the child. Make us protective. Make us predictable. Kael's voice is cold logic. Think about it. We're the 3 most powerful alphas in Avalon Ridge. If someone wanted to control us, a child we all feel connected to would be perfect leverage. Silence. You think he's not really ours, Torin says slowly. I think we need proof before we commit to this level of risk. Rhyx's fists clench. You want a DNA test. I want truth. Truth. Rhyx's voice rises. That baby almost died protecting us. Twice. He reads Neria's mind. Responds to our sense. What more proof do you need? Science. Facts. Not feelings. Since when do you not trust your instincts? Since my instincts tried to kill me 3 times tonight. They're shouting now. The baby stirs. Whimpers. Neria moves without thinking. She scoops him up. Presses him to her chest. Stop. You're scaring him. They fall silent. The baby's eyes open. He looks at Kael. Then at Rhyx. Then at Torin. His expression is heartbreaking, like he understands they're questioning him. Yours, his voice says in Neria's head. Clear, certain, all yours, always. Neria's breath catches. He says you're his, all of you, always. Kael's mask cracks, just for a second. He can't know that. He's 4 days old. So what now? Neria asks. Now we stop running, Kael says, and start fighting back. Against who? Everyone. Kael's eyes harden. Murel, the government, whoever else wants him. We take them all down. How? By doing what we do best. A dangerous smile crosses Kael's face. We go to war. The baby sleeps on, safe in Neria's arms, protected by 3 fathers and 1 fierce Omega who refused to let him go. Outside, dawn breaks over the forest. And in Avalon Ridge, Murel receives a phone call that makes her smile. They've stopped running, her contact says. Perfect, Murel purrs. Send in the final team, the one with the neural disruptor. That will kill the child. No, it'll break his bond with the Omega. And once she's gone, he's mine. Will Murel succeed in breaking the bond? Or will the baby's power evolve to protect them all? The cabin door explodes inward. No warning, no sound, just sudden violence. Figures pour through. More than before, more than should be possible. Kael moves first, grabbing Neria and the baby, throwing them toward the back room. Go! Neria runs, the baby clutched to her chest. His eyes snap open, glowing, blazing, but something's wrong. Her connection to him feels distant, muffled, like cotton stuffed between them. Can't hear you. His voice in her head fractures, cuts out, static. No, Neria gasps. Baby, stay with me. She hits the back room, slams the door, looks for an exit. There isn't one. They're trapped. Outside, she hears fighting, gunfire, shouts, the 3 alphas tearing through soldiers like paper. But it doesn't matter, because one figure walks through the chaos untouched. Small, female, holding a device that hums with electronic malice. Murel steps into the back room. Her smile is victory. Hello, Neria. Thank you for making this so easy. The baby screams, but his power doesn't come. The glow flickers, dies. The device in Murel's hand is disrupting him. cutting off his abilities. What did you do? Neria's voice shakes. Neural disruptor. Blocks alpha frequencies. Severs bonds. Very expensive. Very effective. Murel steps closer. Hand him over. Never. You don't have a choice. The door behind Murel explodes. Kael stands there. Blood on his face. Murder in his eyes. Step away from them. Murel doesn't move. Or what? You'll kill me? In front of your son. Kael's jaw clenches. Don't test me. I'm not testing. I'm taking. Murel raises the disruptor. Points it at Neria. This works on Omegas too. I press this button, and your bond with him shatters. Permanently. He'll forget you ever existed. Neria's world tilts. You can't. I can. And I will. Unless you hand him over right now. The baby reaches for Kael, crying, desperate. But his voice in Neria's head is gone. Completely silent. She can't feel him anymore. Tears stream down her face. Please, don't do this. It's already done. Murel's finger moves toward the button. A voice echoes through the darkness outside. Hand over the Omega and the child. The Triarch can't protect them anymore. Multiple voices now, surrounding the cabin. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Kael looks at Neria, at the baby, and Murel. The choice is impossible. Fight and watch the bond break, or surrender and lose everything. The baby's crying stops. Not because he's calm, because he's given up. His eyes close. His body goes limp in Neria's arms. And somewhere deep inside him, something snaps. The device in Murel's hand explodes. She screams, drops it. The baby's eyes open. Not amber this time. Gold. Bright gold that burns like stars. His voice returns. Not in Neria's head. Out loud. Clear. Impossible. Mine. One word. The cabin explodes outward. Every wall. Every window. Pure force radiating from a 4-day-old child. The soldiers outside fly backward. Murel hits the far wall. Kael catches himself. Neria crouches low, shielded by the baby's power. And then darkness swallows them all. When Neria wakes, she's somewhere else. Somewhere safe. Somewhere warm. The baby sleeps in her arms. Peaceful. Normal. Kael sits beside her. Watching. Waiting. What happened? She whispers. He evolved, Kael says quietly. His power is not just echo anymore. It's something else. Something we've never seen. Where's Murel? Gone. For now. Kael's expression is grim. But she'll be back. They all will. So what do we do? Kael looks at the baby, at his son, his heir, his impossible miracle. We train him, Kael says. We protect him. We raise him to be stronger than all of us. He's 4 days old. He won't be forever. Neria looks down at the sleeping infant, at his perfect face, his tiny hands, and she knows this is only the beginning. The war for this child has just started, and nothing will ever be the same. The baby's eyes open one last time, gold fading back to amber. He looks at Neria, Kael, and smiles. What do you think will happen when the baby grows up? Will he become a weapon or a savior? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and inspire others with your perspective. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter of this incredible story. Share this with someone who needs inspiration today, and let's build a community of support together. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive. Thank you for being here,